Hi, my name is Nandini. Here I'm going to explain about the some of the applications, tools, and best practices for the AWS developers. In previous videos, we learn about the foundations of AWS developers and some of the practices about the AWS developer practices. And here I'm going to explain tools and best practices for AWS services. And here is like see first one is see real life examples of AWS development in practices, learn about key AWS services and developer tools, emphasizes on building secure, maintainable, and scalable applications, greater for developers to adapt cloud native modeling strategies, learn cloud development best practices accepted in the industries. And here is the introduction about that. And we have like some of the points. Is like first one is deliver more than just code, create cloud native ecosystem, and see how AWS fits into your development lifecycle and learn how AWS help with DevOps, serverless, and automation, and examine cross services integrations like example Lambda plus GenomeDB and S3. Get comfortable with CI and CD monitoring and optimization. Fake it until you make it and build production grade apps with real time feedback and mechanism. And here is some of the real world application scenarios. And first one is frequent cases where AWS stands out. First one is microservices and mobile web app and backends and event driven data pipelines. Last one is automation. And in microservices, decomposes apps into Lambda backend APIs, manage REST endpoints with API gateway, and then my mobile and web app backends, amplify AppSync and DNOMDB, authentication with Cognitio, event-driven data pipelines. First one is like S3 plus Lambda plus ISIS for data integration ingestion, automated ETL jobs with AWS Glue and step functions. And last one is in automation, schedule tasks with CloudWatch, events plus Lambda, step functions for complex workflows. And here is the sum of the essential AWS developer tools. First one is like CodeCommit, second one is CodeBuild, and third is CodeDeploy and CodePipeline. In CodeCommit, fully managed GIT respiratory and IAM and cloud trial integrated for secure code storage. In CodeBuild, compile code, run, test, create artifacts, scales automatically with parallel builds. And deploy to ECT Lambda or on premises services, supports blue or green and canary deployments. And in last one, code pipelines, orchestrate CI CD across all AWS services, native integrations with GitHub or third party tools. And here is some of the best practices for security. Key technique to protect your system and data. Apply the principles of least privilege when configure IAM permissions. Regularly rotate IAM credentials and prefer using temporary secure credentials via STS. Implement encryption across all layers. Use server side encryption for S3 buckets. Protect RDS and EBS volumes using AWS key management services. Secure data in transit using SSL or TLS protocols. Establish private and secure connectivity with VPC endpoints. Protect APIs using API gateway authorized like JWT tokens, IAM roles, or custom Lambda functions. Strengthen compliance and visibility with CloudTrail, AWS configuration, and Guard duty for logging configurations tracking, and threat detection. And here is some of the cost optimization strategies. Cut down on waste and boost cloud expenditure efficiency, select compute sensibility, Lambda for workloads driven by events, EC2 for legacy full control systems, optimize. Approximately sized EC2 instance, adjust the timeout and Lambda memory parameters, options for purchase for workloads that are predictable, use reserved instance or saving plans. Keep an eye on Cost Explorer of AWS, cost anomaly retentions and budgets. Automate the cleanup of unwanted resources, example S3 life cycle policies. Here is the monitoring, logging, and automation. Ensure stability and visibility through the deployment. CloudWatch, we have two options like make personalized dashboards and set up notifications for outages and thresholds. And X-rays, end-to-end request tracking in microservices and determine bottlenecks and latency. And Terraform, CDK or cloud formation infrastructure is defined as code, automatic rollback, and deployment. Include deployments and testing in CI and CD pipelines to start automatic remediation workflows. Use event summary or preparing professional AWS development. Important reasons for perspective. Know how to successfully combine several AWS services. Developers can be accelerated and automated with AWS developer tools. Make cost control, security, and monitoring your top priorities. For reproducibility, use infrastructure as a code. Use CI and CD to achieve dependable, quicker delivery cycles. Create applications that are scalable with Lambda and auto scaling. Dependencies through monitoring and multi-asset available zones maintainable with the DevOps and techniques. And thank you.